Hello, my name is Carol May Whittick, spiritual life coach, and welcome to Her Inspirations and a continuation of the series A Deeper Knowing. This week I'm looking at fear. When we embrace our emotions, we increase what we allow ourselves to experience. We deeply learn more about ourselves and we see how much more capable we are of holding. Therefore, we have more capacity to be there in bigger ways for ourselves and for others. We cannot be destroyed by our emotions. They are illuminating the myriad of tones in our energetic resonance. We are stronger because of them. They are a gift. Before I get into this week's episode, I just want to share with you some ways that I can support you on your journey. Firstly, you can join the mailing list for Her Inspirations so that you can receive the weekly emails in which I give additional points for you to consider so that you can go deeper into your personal journey. If you're someone that's always wanted to be heard in the world, whether that means you're launching your own podcast, out there on social media, public speaking, or just showing up in your life in a confident way, I've created Your Awakened Voice for you. This course uses my holistic approach that acknowledges the intricate connection between your physical body, your mind, and your spirit. It empowers you to discover and develop your voice so it resonates as a powerful instrument of transformation and you're able to become a catalyst for healing in the world. Or you may choose to work with me one-to-one. This is especially for you conscious creators. If you know that there's a purpose for your life, my purpose is to support you to confidently follow your intuition and create your big vision. The link to all of these are in the show notes below. So let's get into this week's episode, and this week is fear. A quote from Plato: "We can easily forgive the child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light." So what is fear and where is fear from? Well, fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat. And there are varying types of fear. So we can think of the more rational fears. We're out there and a bear comes at us and we've got to get out of the way. So there are fears like that that will protect us from harm, that will alert us to danger, that will tell us to make a sharp exit. But then we have the irrational fears, and those are fears that may come from any past traumas, any kind of personal anxiety, low self-esteem or lack of self-belief, often also from our conditioning, cultural influences, and they contribute to the development of these fears. And this week I'm really focusing on the aspect of irrational fear. And those are the fears where we've built up a situation in our mind that limits us from moving forward, from taking action on the dreams that we say that we hold for ourselves. Society at large is controlled by fear. Everyone reacts to the news and the sensationalism that we see out there in the world and online. There are so many shoulds around how we allow fear to control us and how we have allowed fear to stop us moving in the direction that we want. One of the most controlling aspects of fear is the fear of what other people will think, the fear of other people's opinions. For that reason, most people never make a move in their life because they believe they should be doing something in one direction, and if they go in another direction, the fear of failure stops them taking any action at all. We've heard the breakdown of the acronym of FEAR. FEAR, false evidence appearing real. And this is what fear is. Fear in its irrational state is an idea that we have in our minds, and it's always in our minds, of what could possibly go wrong or what we think will go wrong. And for that reason, we never move forward. We're overcome by this vision of the worst possible scenario. But fear can be and is a powerful teacher. Facing our fears can lead to personal growth and building our resilience. Most people have a big fear in their mind about something and haven't yet worked out how to use fear as a driver to move forward. So they get crippled by the vision of all of the what ifs and stay in that place and never take action. The only way to overcome fear is to take action. There is no pill that you can take. There's no hand holding that can be done. Fear is only overcome by moving through fear, because as you move through fear, you realize that the thing that you feared was not actually that bad after all. Or even if you move through fear with a sense of trepidation, you more than often not will come out the other side feeling okay. As we're taking action towards fear, we need to reframe who we think we are. Not just positive thinking in the light kind of way, but in a real deep and rooted way. I also want to add to this how we can use our spirituality to assist us when we feel fear and be able to move through and transcend despite these feelings, despite these visions, despite the noise of other people that are putting us or keeping us in this state of fear. Work on finding your sense of inner peace. Work on finding your inner voice and connecting to your soul. That's when you see that there's nothing to fear. This is where a practice such as visualization is so powerful. Getting into a meditative state and seeing yourself taking action, seeing yourself doing the thing that it is that you want to do, and not only doing it, but succeeding at it, feeling how that feels through all of your senses, smelling it, tasting it, hearing it, speaking it, seeing the positive reaction of other people when you've moved forward into this thing that in the present moment your mind is telling you is so overwhelming and so hard to do and something that you should fear. Having that in your mind, and also within your meditation, finding a sense of peace in the midst of all the thoughts and the noise and the ideas and the reasons why any of these things are not possible for you. And connecting to your soul and connecting to the part of you that knows that there's nothing to fear, and getting into a state where you surrender and you trust that you're going to be divinely guided towards what it is that you desire for your life. And a magic thing happens when you start to take steps forward despite the fear that you're feeling. When you show that you're willing to step through whatever thoughts are trying to cloud you at that moment, you find that you start to get assisted, you start to get answers, you start to get guidance in ways that are miraculous, that wouldn't have happened to you if you're not taking any steps forward. You have to show willing, you have to show that despite whatever my mind is telling me isn't right for me, that if I even just inch towards it, magic and miracles inch back towards you. That's how you then start to trust the connection that you have with your soul. That's when you start to overcome the feelings of fear, despite the fear being there, and build that resilience. You know that, okay, as I want to move to a new level, there's always going to be something that's telling me all of the things that are wrong. But if you build your self-awareness about your conversation and know that the conversation and those voices that are coming in are maybe just trying to keep you safe in the space that you're at now and not wanting to put you into any danger because the space that you're moving into is unknown, going back to that trust that you have with your soul, that you would not be shown any of these things if they were going to put you in harm's way. They are there for the evolution of yourself. They are there for the expansion of who you are. And yes, it's going to feel scary because you're going to be moving out of the safety net and the little box that you've kept yourself in. So you're going to have to push against that. It's a new space. It's a rare space, and the more that you push against your own limited paradigms, the shakier it will feel. As you level up, you'll realize there are fewer and fewer people that are prepared to push past the fears that are surrounding them. And speaking of people, make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who themselves make the move despite fear, and are not then going to use their own fear of either you leaving them and expanding past their level of growth and showing them where they're not taking action, because that in itself is puts other people at unease, seeing everyone starting at the same point and others moving forward fearlessly really shows them the gap, and that in itself builds a bigger story of fear within them. And they will be telling you things just to keep you safe, just to keep you with them, so that they don't have to make that uncomfortable move into that space that they're not aware of for themselves yet, that they have not yet overcome despite the fear that they feel. Maybe the biggest fears that people encounter is the fear of success. Ask yourself, is that fear of success from you or from others, or a mixture of both of you thinking what others will think of you? When you step into your full potential, as I mentioned before, it's going to cause ruffles for many different reasons. You've been given a vision for you to step into your greatness. Everyone has a vision, and it's their choice whether they want to choose to expand into that ultimate version of themselves and let go of the old stories, step out of the comfort zone, leave that place where they are right now. And it doesn't necessarily always mean that you leave the people behind you. There may be a separation for a moment as you move forward, but the ones who are meant to be with you on your journey and support you to your success don't fear your success. They want success for you. And you should want success for yourself and the people that you feel that you may be leaving behind. Many of those will be inspired and will join you and be asking questions of you in the future. Those who are not supportive of you, they're trapped in their own fear. And with your own self-awareness and understanding where you're coming from and moving forward and why you're doing what it is that you want to do, you'll be rooted, connected to your own inner self, to the call of your own voice, and you'll be able to recognize what it is that they're going through within themselves, the battles, the internal battles that they're having with themselves, that's triggering them and projecting out. But you'll be so rooted in your purpose moving forward that you'll be able to stand firm within that and not be pulled back by their fears. So the ultimate question is, when you feel fear, every time that fear comes up about anything, is to ask yourself the question, what is it that I want really? Do I want to spend my life trapped in this fear of all the things that can't happen for me? Or do I want to see what's on the other side of this? From Marcus Aurelius: it's not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Higher Energetic Resonance Inspirations. And this episode was all about fear. And let me know what you're getting, what revelations are coming to you as a result of this Deeper Knowing series. If you want to find out more about me, meet me on my website. It's carolmaywhittick.com, carolmaywhittick.com. You can also find me on social media, LinkedIn and Facebook, Carol May Whittick, Instagram, Kazmic, Cazmick. All of the links to everything else are in the show notes. Until the next episode, take care. Bye-bye.